Entertaining, cool. You're listening to LA Talk Radio.
It's time for the Dr. Tongie Show.
Hey, you're on the air with Dr. Tongie. Talk to me.
As soon as I hear your voice, Dr. Tongie, my day is better.
Hey, Dr. Tongie. I took your advice and made some changes in my life. And you know what? I've been winning ever since. Thank you for your advice.
Now, here's Dr. Tongie.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. It is time for the Dr. Tongie Show, and it is such an honor to be with you again. Thank you for all of the support that I've been getting. It's so humbling, I kid you not. I don't want to call Jeannie every day crying, but she knows that I am so grateful to God for everything that He is allowing us to walk in. This woman is a beast when it comes to vision, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. When you have someone to really see the vision, and the only way people can see your vision is you've got to write it. You got to make it plain for folk to see. Is that right, Jeannie?
That's right. That's right. And you're doing it. You're the pilot. My pilot.
I'm the co-pilot. But again, thank you so very much for the East Coast love. Thank you for Atlanta tuning in New York, tuning in Mississippi. Oh, my people in Columbus that said, wow. You know what? Yeah, we're going to give you an opportunity to do what you're going to do. And if you mess up, we're going to let you know that you messed up. So thank you. And I have a wonderful, wonderful guest that Jeannie, I tell you, I promise you, this woman, and you hear me say this over and over and again, but when, again, someone sees the vision, someone goes out and says, you know what, let's have someone to come in and tell you about that how did I get here moment. What an awesome thing. So without further ado, I want to bring to your attention again the relevance of doing the show. I do not want the show to be misconstrued as a show that she is just talking. That's not the plan. It's so easy for me to just go and do something so seriously else. But the assignment is for us to motivate. It is to inspire. It is to lift people to a place in their lives where there is absolutely nothing that's impossible to them. I do not want to harp on my beliefs. You know that I told you the foundation of this show, the foundation is kingdom principles that's enveloped in love. I want love to be the greatest aim of this show. And with that, you have to be love, and you have to, we call it in Christianese, die daily to yourself. The world says, hey, I got to make sure that my vibe's right.
Vibing.
We vibing.
Vibing.
But anyway, there have been some principles that we started out October 17th, and one of the 4 things that we talked about were what it means to be productive. And productivity is that gift that allows you to come before great people and to do what you're supposed to do while you're on this wonderful thing called an assignment. So God will never ask you to do something that He has not equipped you to do. And with that being said, you do know that the multiplication is, the fruitfulness is your product. The multiplication is you're bringing that product to market. The subduing is your disseminating, you're getting that product out. So for instance, your book, and I'm not jumping ahead of myself here, Dennis. And then of course you, after you're subduing, what is it? Multiply, let's see, what is it? Multiply, subdue, tell me. Multiply, subdue.
I think that's
He's saying what?
You had that.
You're not going for that 3-pointer.
Get your product out there.
She did a LeBron show, even though he's a champion. But sometimes, right, no, when that buzzer ring and you don't hit that basket, like,
I'm
why
so
you do
sorry.
that?
I swear to you, I'm so sorry. Replenish. And of course, that leads to your dominion, and that dominion is the area of expertise. Okay? Is that better? Your area of expertise. It may be that you bake cookies, and you've got some of the best cookie recipe, I'm telling you, this side of the Mississippi. That cookie baking recipe could really bring you, once you bring it to market, can cause you to go to a Nabisco, and Nabisco sees it and says, you know, we tried it, we really like it, we'd like to go ahead and mass produce it. And of course, you get royalties from that. So that's the premise of the show. To what is it that you're supposed to do? Let's get on this destination together so that we can meet or get to our destiny. Or let's get to the destiny by parlaying the destination. However you want to see it. But I want you to get busy. I want you to be so busy with purpose that it just literally blows your mind. I want you to wake up. What makes you angry? Seriously, as leaders, we are to ask that proverbial question. What makes us angry? What makes you so angry that you want to do something about it? What if it was your finances? What if it was your circumstance that made you so angry that you just really, no one's going to tell me to punch in at 9 o'clock. I want to sleep to 9. You're the only one that can do something about it. And you have to start with the end in mind. But I would not start a project unless you got, I call it permission. That permission is you can do a good thing, but it ain't right. I said ain't. It's not right. I did good things by giving and giving and giving, and what we call in Christianese sowing and sowing, but I didn't reap. But I did a good thing as I lost my home, as I lost my vehicles. I was doing a good thing, but it wasn't the right thing. So anyway, that's the premise of the show, to inspire, to motivate, to get you to get busy with your purpose, so that you will not take your gifts back to your Creator. And He says, what did you do? Well, Lord, I lived 96 years, and I didn't miss going to church. I can speak in tongues, God. But what did you do? Well, I told people about you. And I passed out tracts, and I'm not making light of that because I was there. I promise you I was there. Get busy and become a witness of Him and not to man. I'll say it again. Get so busy that your lifestyle becomes a witness of the people and not to the people. All right. Amen.
Amen. Let the
Sorry.
church. Wow.
Now, Jeannie, yet again, has gotten, the executive producer of the show, man, has gotten someone. I am so excited about this gentleman. From the time that I read his EPK or bio, and I'm reading up on him, and I know what I read. But to meet this man in person, his name is none other Mr. Delemar, who is a prolific writer. He is a poet. He has films, and he directs, and he has a book that is coming or is already.
Yes, here.
It's here.
Yeah.
And when I tell you that he sets the bar so high with faith and walking by faith, that when you hear from him, I hope that you become inspired. I hope that you know that you can do it, and it is not impossible to do. So, without further ado, let's introduce Mr. Dennis Delemar.
Welcome to the Dr. Tongie show. Looking like a model supposed to be on Ebony. You didn't know we were getting ready to do a fashion walk.
Oh, man. First, thank my Heavenly Father and His Son, Yahusha, for being here. And I thank y'all for having me. I met Jeannie online. How long was it? When was that?
I don't even know because I'm all over the place. And what I found was amazing. And then our initial connect is through my intern from the East Coast. That's how, who's doing her own show now, who, worked with me for years. So,
that's how I connect. That's how I connect. But I had you in mind, like, it was a while ago, but
it was good stuff, right?
It was good stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was good stuff. It was good stuff.
I was like, where we going?
But no. But I was like, one day, I was gonna contact you, and then the book was a perfect opportunity because it's just exciting, just that journey to get to this point. So,
like Dr. Tongie said, and her principles and everything is show and what she's about. I want you to go back. And tell your story about trials, tribulations. I'm sure even yourself, you may have counted yourself out and some other people through the challenges you've been through with friends, family, abuse. I want to know what it took to get you out of that dark place to where you could create the greatness inside of you, book, films. What brought you out of that? Talk about where you were and how that happened. Yep, take your time.
Yeah, you got to give me about 5 seconds.
That's okay, because that's what people, we're in, this holiday spirit. Everybody's not okay at any time of the year, but especially now, a lot of damper, a lot of pain is happening, and we were created to be great, but sometimes it's hard to get through to that when you don't know how or you don't mentally or physically feel that way. And somebody like you that has done it, that's why I want you to talk about it.
I would say, first of all, it's, of course, the Most High, he that plan that he has, for us. And the next thing is, what I learned is that over that process is you really don't know. You ask that plan, but it's like the steps. This is a quote he gave me, that faith sometimes is like walking off like a ledge, and there's no steps there. Yeah. But every time you walk, the step appear. It just continues and the more you walk, you can't see way down there. Yeah. But the more you walk, and so starting off like, with the abuse with my dad, is that period. I really didn't understand. Just going through that so many days, like day after day.
How old were you?
I was. That started in '97, so I don't. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
No, 97. After my grandma died. So after my grandma died, I moved with my dad.
Okay.
And so after I moved with my dad, I had never lived with him before, so this was a whole new kind of arena. I knew about him. Through the phone. Right. And so it was just hell. Just there's no way to put it in, just every day. And I really didn't understand because at that time I was like I would always question, the Most High, like, I'm in church, I'm doing these things, and I'm like, man, this is, why would, I didn't do anything to nobody.
What felt like, why would I be set up this way?
Yeah, why would I be set up like, what did I do?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, what did I do? And I just couldn't escape that arena, and nobody could like say good words to it's okay, what I'm saying, like this and that.
There's a taboo, just a segue, there's a taboo that we don't really ask those questions. Yeah. You asked that question. You did. Okay.
I asked that question, and because I just couldn't figure it out, like, this doesn't make sense. And I believe I was 17. Okay. In high school. Okay. When I think I was about a senior, and I met Miss Wanda. And so Miss Wanda was like, she kind of knew a little bit. Yeah. She knew a little bit. She she see here and there how interactions, like, those parent interactions where you could tell somebody's like, it's tough at home, Yeah. And she was like, man, you need to, I think we went to like, I ain't trying to give nobody no plug.
Right. No store.
But we went to like a department store. And it was like,
okay.
She was like, man, you need to get a notebook, to write some stuff down because,
oh, wow.
and stuff like that. And I was like, man, but I don't, what I'm saying? That's like, It's kind of girly. You know what I'm saying?
That's what you said. You thought, right?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. They don't write stuff down. So doing that, you know, it was like the first way to be able to, because I couldn't talk to nobody.
Okay.
You know, who can I talk to about this? Because if I talk to them, they gonna say something, and then he gonna be mad at me. You know what I'm saying? Like, where do I go?
You were at home with Dad at this time.
Yeah.
Grandmother had already transitioned.
Grandma already transitioned, and I feel like, and then I feel like my prayers weren't like getting up there because I'm praying to get out of here, and I'm still here.
Gotcha.
So it was like the paper was like the only place where, you know, I could go.
Yeah.
You know, and so those little journal entries turned into, you know, like some raps, turned into like poetry. Then I started, you know, started the poetry, and the more, I guess, over the course of time, I started to see like that was the way of the Most High bringing that out of me. Yeah. And I remember, you know, just to fast forward a little bit, and then we can go back. But I remember one day I was in New Bern, North Carolina. That's shout out New Bern, North Carolina. That's where I'm from. And I was in a park, and I was just in tears, and I was just praying. I was like, man, you know, why, you know, just looking at all this series of events, like, why would I go through this? And I remember the words he gave me, and it was just so powerful. Like, it was just like, you know, after one of those moments, you can't even say anything. It was like, you know, I allowed you to go through this because, you know, if you don't know pain, how can you know my love?
Wow.
You know, if you've never been homeless, how can you know where a real home is?
Come on.
If you've never been poor, how can you know what real wealth is?
Yeah.
You know, so he was showing me like, no, I allowed you to this. And not only that, because you can't relate to people that are going through that and are experiencing that. You come and telling them something, you know, about them, you know, about that, but you never been there. You never experienced that.
Right.
So when you look back at it, it's like it was, you know, I wouldn't trade it, even though it was like tough.
Yeah.
But it was like,
yeah.
you know, you wouldn't trade it. So to get back to that question, I would just say, you know, you have to. I love when, you know, Yahuwah, he said that when Moses asked him, you know, Moses was trying to figure out what's going on. He was like, what is in your hand? So sometimes I learn on the journey, it's like, you know, we're looking for this thing. I got to have this. I got to have that. I got to have this. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, no. What do you got right now?
I love it. I absolutely
You know, what's
love
that?
it.
What's that one talent? What's that one gift that he's giving you? You know, maybe you got one. Maybe you got 10. Maybe you got, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's that one thing that you have?
Yeah.
And take that one thing, because you're not gonna. Trust is not set up like that.
Yeah.
Trust is not set up like, oh, I'm gonna give you all the answers and you just gonna, you know,
Right.
you're gonna have the whole map. You know what I'm saying? It ain't set up like that.
No,
it's like
it's not.
you only know what you have right now in this moment. And once you do that, once you're faithful in the little of that,
Come on.
then you be entrusted with more. And then then the picture gets bigger and you're like, oh, I can see a little more. You know what I'm saying? So that was a lot of the journey, you know, when I was in college.
Yeah.
After you know, it was a series 'cause I played college football. So I played college football since I was 4 years old.
Oh, wow.
And my grandmother, she actually, Eliza Delemar, she actually put me in football.
Yeah.
Even before you could even play football. Like I was like the water boy, you know what I mean? Like the water boy. So I played that, and my whole thing was like to go to the NFL. And
Oh, yes.
That whole,
I thought I read that. Yeah.
to go that whole thing. And so I got into college and actually didn't go to college. I wanted to, you know, no shade on the college, but
Right.
Ended up, you know, getting partial scholarships there and
Okay.
walking on. And then college football was kind of rough because I you know, but I got a chance to play as a redshirt freshman. And as I got earlier, like later to senior year, I was going to actually start.
Absolutely. What division?
It was Division I AA. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
okay.
I was actually going to start, and so it was a process to me. Like, man, I'm finally going to start.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like at this position, and then that spring we went on a mission trip. Me, Daniel, and Tank, we went on a mission trip, and when I came back, I didn't feel the same about football anymore.
Now, this mission trip was commissioned by your church or the school?
The school, yeah, because Charleston Southern University, it's a private Christian school.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So and that was a big thing because like two I think 2 years before I was in like Miami like spring break. So,
Getting it.
So like 2 years later, you know, we on the mission trip. So it was like he was working on me.
Look, 360 right here. Like,
180.
I know how good that looks, so let me show you what I got for you over here.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah. So so we were and I just didn't feel the same about football. It was like the feeling had just gone. Like something had just like it was just. And I'm starting. I should be like happy and you know, and I'm just like I don't know about football anymore. You know?
Oh wow, Dennis.
And then two of my other friends, they felt the same way. And I remember coming to the cafeteria one day. It was like I don't feel like I ain't feeling football anymore. You know. So it was like, man, this is just odd how how all of this happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that Monday, that first day we're getting back, we have the meeting,
Right.
the big spring break meeting, football meeting, right?
Oh, boy.
And before that, we was like, this is just odd, and so we just started praying, like, hey,
Okay.
what is this? And so we didn't get no clear answer. And I remember like it was yesterday. I was going to the cafeteria, and I said, Father, if this is you pulling me to quit football, I need to hear from you. Like it needs to be like on some like like I need to know.
Right.
And we went into the cafeteria, and I seen this lady, and this I felt a draw to talk to her. It was just a pull, and so I went over there and we started talking to her, and it was probably, to this day, it's probably the most awe-inspiring moment of my life.
Wow.
Because
Now you and your friends, not to
me and my friends,
went over to her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Eli and Daniel, and we were there. So I have witnesses if anybody thinks I'm crazy.
Right.
So, it was just like the Most High just came upon her and just spoke.
I love it.
And prophesied, to these moments that are now happening now. You know what I mean? So it's like, it was just like, and this lady, I didn't know this lady. Yeah. And so it was like, and I just prayed it like 15 minutes ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we did it. It was like, okay, we heard. We was like, we gonna do it.
Okay.
So we told the coach, and he was like, this and that. Long story short, now Eli was the starting quarterback, and I was the starting free safety. I'm talking about a Division I AA school. Like this is big. I mean, they got so big to where ABC, the news station there, picked the story up and did a story on it. Yeah, it was called from the field to the soul field. And they were like, it was a big buzz. Yeah, it was a big buzz around the school because it was like, and then the athletic director was like, this is true. You know what I'm saying? The athletic director was like, don't go around telling people that, the Most High told y'all to do that because he don't do stuff like that. That's what he told us. That's, I mean, and it was just crazy, and you got to see. That was the first time I really got to see that. You really know who people are when you take a stand for something. When you stand for something, that's when the true nature of people come out.
Yeah.
And so over that process, I didn't know. Like after that, I didn't know what I was gonna do.
Okay.
We quit football. Okay, now what?
Right.
Like now what? Because I guess it was a trajectory, like a fork in the road to like a
absolutely.
And so I went to see Dyer and Frank. I remember I went to go see Dyer and Frank. It was like one of the first times I think I've seen that might have been the first time I've seen a stage play.
Okay.
Dyer and Frank. And Dyer and Frank was like, I was just like, man, this is intense. Like, because it was another form of poetry at that point, because at that point I had got better at poetry.
Okay.
I was doing like spoken words.
Okay.
So you would do open mics?
Yeah,
open mics and stuff. I did my friend's wedding. He had, I got a chance to do a poem. So it was kind of, but that was another form of expression. I was like, man. So I just started to inquire about acting and directing, and I took a summer course. And I remember like, I would do stuff like it would be in class, and people would do stuff, and then I would do it like not even thinking, and people would be like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like looking at me like, and I'm just like,
absolutely.
But that was the gift starting to manifest.
Absolutely.
And so my professor, he was really kind of adamant, but like, man, you have something. You have a gift. You need to really do it. So the process began of just like going through that, I got into New York Film Academy, but didn't go because it was just a lot of money. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And in that process, to get back what I think what we were saying earlier about the family and about getting to that goal, the principles.
Right.
That was probably another tough time, because after I graduated and went back to, I graduated, I got all this,
Right.
hype,
Right.
and couldn't get in New York Film Academy because it's too much. I actually flew to New York and,
Did the interview process.
did the interview
everything.
process,
Yeah.
and they gave me like a little bit of scholarship, but it was just not enough.
Right.
And I had to go live back with my grandmother, and I got a college degree, and it's like, I'm just feeling like, man, I'm feeling like,
process.
yeah, I'm feeling like, man, this is tough. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not even what they saying, but kind of what I'm feeling. I'm like, man. And so all that in that period, I remember trying to get like jobs and stuff like that. And I was trying to get a job at down the road. It was like a movie theater. It was like a movie theater thing or something, like a movie rental shop.
Okay.
And I couldn't even get that. And I'm like, I got a
College degree, right?
College degree.
Right.
It's like
Doors
$8.
are shutting
man.
down. Doors are shutting down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what did you? I'm saying in those dark times. I mean, the doors are closing. How did you keep yourself motivated to move forward?
That's good.
Yeah, it was just the word, and just getting back to what we said before, what I had, just writing. I mean, in that time, I had an idea that he had given me back in '08, and I just started writing. The only thing I could do was write and learn film, because nothing else was working. It was all the doors were shut, so all I could do was just write, just learn about film, write this script.
Yeah.
I wrote the first screenplay, and I didn't understand because, it's like you trying to tell your family something, and they looking at you like, nah, but you got to do this, and you like, what? You know what I'm saying? They looking, nah, you got to do, and it's just like that, and you're like, yeah, please show them, you know what I'm saying? Like, show them what's going on.
Because a lot of times family will shut you down, especially in the creative process, because, artistically, people don't always understand, the creative process. There's no 9 to 5. There's no right or wrong way. It's your own individual journey that, we are all on. And, and that in itself can be, painful. It can be, cause you to be just so distraught. So that's why, I'm trying to, because I know so many Dr. Tongie's listeners, and of course you can follow and ask questions. If you feel like you're in a place like that, by all means, at Dr. Tongie Show right now, at Dr. Tongie Show, to talk about, how you, like I said, you kept going back to writing. I know what I have, and I'm just going to stick to that. And the fact that you had the faith, I think that's what I'm trying to, the faith to do that. Okay. That's what's challenging. Okay. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's that's one of the things in the book we get to is there's a kind of life lesson breaking down what we know about faith and then versus like trust, right? And so it kind of goes over like, because I come from a Hebrew perspective.
Okay.
And there's some words that point to like amuna, which means kind of like trust and faithfulness. So it's a difference. It's a difference between knowing something,
right,
and actually being steadfast and like unmovable like a tree. So that's two different things. It's like, so when you know something, because what really helped me is knowing what the Most High had already shown me, that I could. It's like if I could find that one moment, if it's going crazy, okay, I got that one moment that I can refer back to in my head, even if it's looking crazy, because sometimes it was. So that's what helped to be unmovable is what you know and what the Most High has shown you, the word. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way.
And did you study on your own, or did you have somebody with you, or a mentor or a spiritual guider? Because a lot of times people, it's okay to listen to you. I hear what you're saying, but a lot of times people don't know how to get there, and that's the dots I'm trying to connect.
Right.
It sounds great, but when you're in the belly of hell and everything's shut, nothing's working out, people you trust supposed to be around, everything is locked down. How in the hell do you find that faith to say, oh, I'm gonna go back to writing? A lot of people listen like, I'm gonna write, and I'm still outside on the corner.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
you know,
it's like what you were talking about earlier. It's to see past where you are, and to look past that, and to look past, see the end. See the end, because that's the only way you can get past where you are. Because if you keep thinking about, oh, this and that, and that's the only way I could think of. Like, okay, this is just a transition point. And sometimes, to be honest, to keep it raw, it's like in those moments you don't want to even hear a lot of voices.
Okay,
That's
talk
good.
about the peace and
Absolutely.
quiet. I can deal with it. Yeah, the noise, the
noise.
voices.
Yeah.
The noise.
Yeah.
Because you talk to this family member, and it could be people you love. You talk to them, but they saying one thing, and you talk to them, and they saying another thing, and it's like, you're trying to just figure it out, so you just want to kind of just close up, and then once that period is over, then that's when I started to kind of like, kind of more so reach out. But it was that season for it. But I think you got to go through that season. I talk about sometimes like in the book, like like diamonds. Once you find them, you have to, they have to polish them and do the work, and then when it's finished, it's ready for the shine. It's ready for that display to put it in that glass case.
Right.
Before it had to go off to where you couldn't see it.
Right.
That's a great analogy.
That is a great
And then,
analogy.
Dr. Tongie, when you go through and have gone through life challenges, could you, at your darkest times, could you see what Dennis was talking about? Were you watching the end?
Because we operate in honesty, openness, and sincerity.
Right, because that never happened for me.
No.
No. Okay.
I said,
Yeah.
I got to start with the end in mind.
Yeah.
I got to start with the end in mind. In Deuteronomy, he said he made the end before the beginning. But I was still writing a Dear John letter to my family because I'm about to check out.
Yeah.
I dear family, he is real, period. I quit, period. Don't you quit,
Yeah.
period.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
So it was a lot of, if you don't help me, everybody that I've told that you're so good and you're so kind and you're so loving and you're this and that, they're going to say, I get it, but he ain't even do it for her.
Yeah.
She fast and pray and do this and give and bada and sacrifice. But if he didn't do it for her, I don't have a chance.
Yeah.
So you do get to that point where you're like, you know what? I don't want to talk to nobody. Nothing's wrong. It ain't you, it's me. Because if I don't discover or rediscover what I'm supposed to be doing here, I do not want him to ever say to me, you were a worker that did what she wanted to do. Matter of fact, I don't know you. And my dad is sure enough don't know you because I never told him who you were because you didn't operate.
Yeah.
You didn't do what you were supposed to do, which segues into you've done it. In January 20th, 2019, you've got this wonderful miniseries coming out. And I kind of read some of the description of it, and I'm thinking, oh my God, please, you got to tell us, how were you able, get this, Deuteronomy 28, right? I don't want to give it away. But he has a mini-series coming out, and he purposefully put emphasis on 53 curses and not the 14 promises. See, we get caught up in the promise. Ooh, I get this and I get that, I get this, because that's what he said. But then in verse 15 through 68, he says, but let me tell you, if you don't follow my law, this we're going to have it right here. So Delemar, has a way of parlaying, of paralleling 53 curses into a mini series that will be a documentation of.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good one. Because the curses, if you look at us in here in America, I'm talking about like
Come on.
melanated folks, black folks, right?
Talk.
There's nobody else in the world that fit these curses according to the Bible.
Now you know we're finna get some backlash, right? You good
Yeah,
with that,
I know.
right? You're okay with that, right?
I know. I'm okay with that because
Gotta be, because when you on fire, you gonna catch the heat.
yeah, because this is our history book, right? Because we are the children of Israel, right? So the thing about it is, when you look at, I mean, there's so many. Yeah. You know, I don't even want to get into it, but there's so many you can look at. We can go there. We can go right down to Compton or Watts, and we can see what is going on. Okay. But to bring those into, so people can see it, because sometimes we hear about it all the time, but we don't visually see it. We don't see what this is causing. We don't see what how one thing is connected to another.
Will you give me an example of maybe 3 of the curses? And there's so many.
Okay. Yeah. Like for instance, one of them was you would watch your daughter, right, be taken away. You watch your children be taken away, right? And so we remember on the shores of Africa, you know, you had the husband and the wife, and then their child is being taken away to slavery, and she looks at the husband, and there's nothing he could do, right? Yeah. But see, I think even with the curses, sometimes we get caught up in the curses, but it goes even deeper than that. Because sin caused the curses. Come on, man.
And you know sin is a separation, right?
Sin is a separation. Yeah, right. Sin is that transgression of his word, right? Yeah. So that caused the thing. Yeah. So even with this series, it's showing the connection between when that happens, right, and then what it causes. Yeah. So it's a cause and effect, right? And that's what we're talking about, because we have done for many years, hundreds of years, we've dealt with the results. Right. Okay, the oppression. Yeah, they're doing this. Oh, okay, we know. Right. We know. But how did it get here?
How did I get here?
How did I'm not. How did the community get here? That's what we want to know.
Don't worry about it. Come right back.
Because that's one of the things I talk about in the letter. I have a letter in the book. Is to the brothers, right? Wow. To men, right? And we're talking about responsibility. And we're talking about, we can't come with the victim mind state of, because if we say that another nation is stronger than us, they were just outsmarted us, then that means they were less intelligent. Yeah. So it's something that we missed, you know, even in Africa, or something that we missed that caused the empire to fall, because we were there. Okay. So it's going one to the other. Okay. But that's one of the curses is seeing that, you know, and seeing our children taken away. Right. And so when you bring that modern day, you know, you have men that, you know, they may be about to be married, and then, you know, come to find out their wife gets taken or something happens. Right. You know, so it's bringing that modern day twist on it. You know, kind of in the vein of, you know, if you're familiar with
Black Mirror,
like Black Mirror, that kind of like psychological Twilight Zone type thing, where people get caught in that thing. You know, one of the curses is, you know, you will see the foreigner rise higher and higher. You know, we you know, we see some people work here, you know, work out here, and somebody comes from another country, and that next thing they the manager, and the other person's still mopping the floors. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I've been here the whole time. Right. You know, I've been doing what's good. So it's that, but the thing is we can get, because we can't talk, like you said, we can't talk about the blessings. Yeah. Until we talk about the cause and the root.
Thank you so very much. And I really appreciate that honesty. Honestly, I do. With the feature film, that's going to be good. The Sacrifice. Oh my God. And I love the way.
Short.
The short.
Yeah, short.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love the way you not only, and I don't want to take away from what you're doing, but in that particular feature, how Abraham, yes, we know that it was a sacrifice between Isaac and Abraham. Maybe Isaac needed to be sacrificed because that was what he was told to do. But you put a spin on that, and I'm so looking forward. I think that's February of next year, or January.
Yeah, around like February, March. Maybe.
That's going to be so good. Absolutely. Yeah. So how did you get there to do that?
Yeah, Actually, true story. So, true story. True story. I gotta start. No, I was out in is it Pasadena?
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Pasadena at the mountains out there.
Okay.
And I was coming back, and I was like, you know, I seen the mountains, and I was like, man, this is incredible, man.
Yeah.
Like, cause I never, I'm from the country. I ain't never seen like mountains like that. I'm like, you know. So I be out here, be like, man,
Yeah, I know,
like,
right?
I call it the palm tree syndrome. Very easy to get caught up.
Like,
You know what I
Oh my
mean? Just it's
God, the
gorgeous.
beach.
Yeah, I mean, where else but California can
But
you? I
California,
mean, have rays of sun. 85 degrees for Christmas. A couple hours away, snow. I mean, you have so many options.
Yes.
And just so beautiful. So
Yeah.
you got caught up a little
I
bit.
got caught up. I got caught up. And then people out here be like, oh, they just walking by like nothing's
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
they don't
yeah.
even see it.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
you see this? You know? So was there, and I was like, and y'all kind of came to me and was like, I want you to do the Abraham. You know, I'm like, oh no, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just thinking like, okay. And then I went up and tracked up the mountain, and then I came down, and I met this guy there, which was like confirmation that to do this story, and I came back, and he was just sitting out there, and he was sitting on a rock, and he just had the scriptures out, and he just had the scriptures out in the mountain, in the middle of the mountain, you just sitting there, and
Oh my gosh.
and I was like, yo, how you doing? So we was talking, and like I said, I come from the Hebrew perspective, and he had the Paleo Hebrew of the name of 𝐤𝐿 on his notebook. And I was like, wow, like the park is closing, nobody's here, and you're like the random. So I was like that, and so when we went back and looked at this story, I just started seeing just that love that Sarah and Abraham had, and then not only that love, but just that trust, because I want to get to that level that Abraham was at, like to where, because here's the thing: what people don't talk about is it was a burnt sacrifice.
Absolutely.
So not only do you have to kill, but you have to burn them too. So that's a lot. That's
I know.
For a father.
Whole nother
And
thing,
this is your son that the promise
You've been
and
praying
everything.
25 years. You've been waiting on this promise to be fulfilled. So much so that you got in your own way with Hannah. Was it Hannah or whatever her name is?
Hagar.
What was it? Hagar. Yeah.
So it's like.
Oh, I know.
And so I'm thinking about that, and I'm thinking about the moment, and it's just so. I think it's just so epic where he just going up there, and then the aspect of how Isaac is adjusting to that. You see what I'm saying? So I mean, it's one of those things where I haven't really seen anything like it, far as just in general.
Right. I haven't either.
I haven't seen anything like it. So it's one of those. I think it's just powerful that it will just show the trust, but it'll also foreshadow.
Absolutely.
What Abraham saw.
Okay.
Because Abraham saw something too.
Absolutely.
He saw something, and he understood that. I don't want to give it away.
I know.
I don't want to give it away.
Thinking, oh my God,
I don't want to give it away, but he saw some things too. So so that story is just it's inspiring.
I'm excited for you.
inspiring.
I'm so excited. And then lastly, I've got to ask you about this wealth.
Okay.
The Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Oh man,
I know, right?
You about to have another show out here.
Look, a whole nother one because
Yeah,
coming up after this.
Okay,
Dr.
okay.
Tongie, hold on. You
Yes.
you got a message on
okay.
Facebook that we'll
Okay.
talk about after you
Okay.
answer that, and it's Cheryl.
Okay.
Cheryl in Philly. So
Okay.
after you answer Dr. Tongie, reason why we don't think we're like laughing at you, but you said a couple of things that Dr. Tongie has segments titled, and she says all the time. So that's when I know it's a higher purpose. No, it's ridiculous. Like you've been here with us, like you part of the production team. I'm like, Dr. Tongie, he's talking your language. And it's a segment called How Did I Get Here? Okay. That she does the last segment about, and so we'll talk about that after you answer what she says in a couple minutes.
The Black Wall Street. Now, see, I gotta segue this with the story.
I know.
Okay, so
I know. Beautiful story.
Beautiful story. So, I was in Miami.
Okay.
And I was talking about Black Wall Street because somebody used to always tell me about Black Wall Street. My friend would always tell me about it, and I thought it was like a cool concept of just like us working together. Like I didn't know it was like a real thing.
It's a real thing.
Yeah, I didn't know it was a real thing. And no, my friend was like, no, it's a real thing. And I was like, oh man. And so I started like researching and stuff.
Right.
And the stuff I was finding wasn't stuff that people were talking about.
Of course not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was like, man. So I started writing. I had got a little bit into the script a little bit, and I just got stuck. And I was like, man, this is crazy. Like, I usually get stuck. So I was talking to my friend, and he was like, yo, I know somebody in Tulsa that's like the historian.
Yeah.
Like the historian. Like,
yeah.
and I was like, yo, you gotta plug me up.
Yeah.
And so I talked to her, and she had
Isn't
that.
she wonderful?
She
She wonderful?
She had that piece.
The piece.
I love
The
her.
piece.
The piece.
Oh my
The
God.
piece.
Oh my
That's
God.
how it worked. She had that other
yeah,
piece, and I'm like, yo, I gotta be
That's
there.
another great title, by the way.
Olivia
Yeah.
J.
No.
Hooker.
Yeah.
Wow.
She had that piece, and I'm like, I gotta be there.
Oh my God.
So I like literally, with the help of the Most High, just went there and flew there and moved there.
Thank you.
And wrote the story and got to the bottom, and I did get a chance to speak to Dr. Olivia Hooker, and it was just amazing
That
because
is so amazing.
she was just
she's the
so-
last one.
Yeah, she's the last one, and she was just so sharp, and it was a blessing talking to her because it was confirmation from Yahuwah that I was on the right path, and the story hit the heart of because when I talked to her, she said what the meat was,
Gotcha.
and I was like, yes.
Now, when is that coming out? Not to cut you off.
That's a good question.
Okay,
Pre-production. Pre-production.
Pre-production. But
Thank
we have a great story together,
Absolutely.
and I think it's a powerful story.
Thank
Don't
you.
worry, Dr.
I
Tongie.
know.
You'll be there at the
know.
red carpet.
Oh,
Look,
Yeah.
here we go again.
Invite me back. You gotta invite me back.
All gonna be part of the
Thank
tour.
you.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Oh.
we're gonna do something
Yeah.
like
goodness.
really, really nice here in
Yeah.
LA.
Thank you so much.
Man, it's exciting.
Yeah.
It's exciting because it's one of those stories that we were kind of talking about earlier. That it's that next level that we want to go. Like
Yeah.
Black Panther helped us, and we got
Oh, absolutely.
and we're making these strides. But the next level is like all the way. Like let's go.
We're ready.
And this is it gives the formula
Yeah.
because you see, not to get into it, but everybody wants to know what is that element that built Black Wall Street.
Right.
Like what is it? What is it? What did they do? What did they do? And it's not even nothing really deep.
Mm-hmm.
It was just loving each other.
Is that not?
Just
is
loving
that
each
not?
other.
That's it.
That was the
But
currency.
we're love. We're created in love. So that's
Yeah.
all we really know how to do. Hate is really foreign to us.
Exactly.
It takes a lot of energy to be hateful.
No, it does.
Oh
It
my
does.
God.
I mean, just what you got to put into it.
Oh my God.
You tired.
And make sure you frown.
Right.
Make sure you
Put the
growl.
wrinkles in your
Yeah,
clothes in
yeah,
your forehead.
yeah.
Right.
Oh.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Well, listen. You
Good
have
stuff.
Cheryl in Philadelphia.
Okay.
Says, Dear Dr. Tongie, I'm enjoying the conversation you and your guest Dennis Delemar are having. You mentioned using your creative gifts to get through the pain. I wanted to write a book about my childhood abuse, mental and physically, but don't know where to start. I know my story will help others and me too. I just don't know where to start. And what process did your guest use to put out his book, and how much did the process cost? And I want to tell you before you responded to that, Dennis, this conversation began at Dr. Tongie on your social media because Cheryl wanted to know where your book is.
Oh, no, she did not.
Yeah, I mean, that's how our conversation started.
Oh, please. We've got 3 minutes. Cheryl, thank you so very much for listening and for stepping on my toes. And I'm smiling, but that was a double-edged sword, and it was the best double-edged sword that you could give me because I am now writing. Matter of fact, I'm writing on 5 books at one time because I feel like I need to hurry up. I know that I'm not going to leave here until it's done, but thank you. And I'll be quiet and let Dennis answer that. But thank you so very much. You have no earthly idea how you have made me free of guilt because I've got to get it done.
Gotta get it done.
Got to get it done.
So it's coming.
You better believe it.
Stay tuned.
You better believe it.
You self-publish, right?
Self-published.
Okay.
Yeah, and the process for me, like I had a lot of the materials, but it's beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah.
I always start with that. Like beginning, middle, and end is like, and then the gaps come in there. You know what I'm saying? But the beginning, middle, and end is like the first. If you can just like, boom, 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 3 points.
Explain but see the boom, boom, boom is what
Okay.
Cheryl needs to know. So,
Okay. So,
did you like just physically write on your computer, and then from there, what did you do in terms of from the writing to actually getting it published? Which steps did you take?
So the beginning, middle, and end, and then just started writing. I got it's some apps out there like ReadSeed. You can
ReadSeed is one.
ReadSeed. You can start on that.
Is it ReadSeed?
ReadSeed.
Okay.
I believe that's
Okay, that's one that can help you.
Yeah, that's one that can help you, and then it typesets it for you.
Okay.
And then you can just and it's really good because it can get your organization going. You can
Good.
start break up your chapters, and you get that beginning, middle, and end. And then once you kind of go through the process of first writing and getting it all on paper, then you start the editing process.
Wonderful.
You know, and you can either outsource it and get somebody to edit it. You know, there's good people out there that can freelance and edit it for you.
Okay.
And then you can either go through Kindle if you want to go through that route.
Okay.
Or you
because I
can,
know Amazon, all of that whole giant is really great at doing it for you.
Yeah, you can go through that route and just promote it. You know, I mean it's I hope I answered your question.
Well, I think we started. You gave her seeds to plant to begin to get there, and then the resources are out there. But I think that's a great base of getting it done.
Yeah.
So you done turned your pain into a multimedia empire. That's what I'm talking about.
That's it. That's exactly what you've done.
That's
It's here.
the principles that Dr.
Manifestation.
Tongie talks
That's
about
it.
every
Absolutely.
Wednesday.
You've done that, absolutely. You've multiplied. You've done the replenishing. You've done the subduing.
Yeah.
And you're walking.
And how can everybody follow you on social media to keep up on your projects?
Yeah, you can follow me at DennisDelemar.com. That's Dennis and Delemar spelled DELEMAR. Also, you can check out my website. That is 𝐤𝐄𝐄𝐄.
You need to spell
Yeah,
that.
I gotta spell it. I already got
I was
it.
like, you being fancy.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, it's YAHUCHESED.com.
Good
right?
All right.
And that means Yahuwah's loving kindness.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
you
thank
make me
you.
feel like Dorothy and the Wizard. I was like, I want to click my heels 3 times and go wherever you're talking about. Yeah, okay.
Thank you so very much, Dennis Delemar, for honestly coming in here and we're allowing us to glean from you. Thank you so very much for standing. Thank you for every tear that you've ever cried. Thank you for not giving up. Thank you for not taking your life. Thank you for letting us know that there's another side and you will get there. And our executive producer, Jeannie Jones, Kitty of the City. Thank you.
Dr.
We love you so
Tongie.
very much.
Mwah.
That's our show. Thank you for joining us. Bye.